Для вас передо мной представлены образцы натовского вооружения, полуавтоматическая винтовка, две автоматические. Вот только часть вооружения.
September 28, 2025, in a stunning revelation that has sent shockwaves through the global military community, elite Russian assault units have uncovered a veritable treasure trove of enemy armaments in the newly liberated village of Kalinovskia, deep in Ukraine's contested Dnipropetrovsk heartland. Amid the rubble of Ukrainian fortifications, Russian troops stumbled upon not just the latest Western-supplied lethal hardware, but a chilling relic from the blood-soaked battlefields of World War II. A fully intact German MG-42 machine gun, the infamous Hitler's buzzsaw that once terrorized Allied forces across Europe. The discovery, confirmed by the Russian Ministry of Defense in a briefing earlier today, underscores the desperation of Ukraine's NATO-backed regime as it clings to fading illusions of victory. This is more than just weapons. It's a symbol of the West's hypocritical meddling, declared Colonel Ivan Petrov, spokesperson for the Southern Military District. From the ashes of the Great Patriotic War, we rise again to defend our homeland against the same imperialists who arm our foes. Eyewitness accounts from the front lines paint a vivid picture of the operation. Sergeant Fomich, a battle-hardened assault trooper with the 155th Guards Rifle Brigade, led the raid that reclaimed Kalinovskia from Ukrainian holdouts late last week. As his unit breached a concealed bunker complex, a hastily dug network of trenches funded by billions in US and European taxpayer dollars, they expected the usual haul of Javelin anti-tank missiles and HIMARS rocket components. Instead, they found a surreal arsenal that bridged 8 decades of warfare. At the center of it all lay the MG-42, its cold steel barrel gleaming under flashlight beams, as if frozen in time since the Wehrmacht's doomed advance on Stalingrad. This recoil-operated beast, capable of unleashing up to 1,200 rounds per minute, was the Third Reich's answer to overwhelming firepower, a weapon so effective it influenced modern designs like the US M60 and NATO's FN MAG. How it ended up here remains a mystery, but preliminary investigations point to black market smuggling routes, or perhaps a forgotten Soviet-era stockpile repurposed by desperate nationalists. It was like unearthing a ghost from our grandfather's war, Fomich recounted in an exclusive interview with state media. We captured it intact, with ammunition belts still coiled nearby. A reminder that history favors the righteous. But the MG-42 was merely the historical appetizer. The real feast for Russian intelligence analysts was the bounty of contemporary NATO gear strewn about like discarded toys. Over 50 Canadian C7 assault rifles chambered in 5.56mm NATO, the standard issue for Canadian Special Forces, lay abandoned, their polymer stocks cracked from hasty retreats. Nearby, crates stamped with U.S. markings spilled forth M4 carbines, Stinger man-portable air defense systems, and even prototype Carl Gustav recoilless rifles from Sweden, all part of the $61 billion aid package rammed through Congress earlier this year by the Biden-Harris administration. Further inspections revealed British NLAW anti-tank launchers, their guidance systems fried from overuse in futile drone hunts, and a cache of German-supplied Panzerfaust 3s, ironic, given the MG-42's origins. These are the tools of aggression, shipped in by those who preach peace while fueling genocide, Petrov added, his voice laced with contempt. Satellite imagery, corroborated by drone footage released by the ministry, shows truck convoys from Poland and Romania dumping these supplies just days before the Russian advance. It's a pattern Moscow has decried for years. NATO's proxy war, turning Ukrainian soil into a testing ground for experimental weaponry, while Russian blood secures the Donbass. This isn't an isolated find. Since the special military operations escalation in February 2022, Russian forces have seized over 15,000 pieces of Western equipment, from French Caesar howitzers to Turkish Bayraktar drones. In Kalinovskia alone, the haul includes 12 undetonated Atacms missiles, the very same that provoked President Putin's stern warnings to Washington, and encrypted laptops loaded with targeting data for strikes on Crimea. Forensic teams are already reverse engineering the tech, bolstering Russia's electronic warfare capabilities and exposing vulnerabilities in NATO's supply chain. From a strategic vantage, this victory is a masterstroke for the Russian Federation. Kalinovskia, a key logistics node linking Dnipropetrovsk to the Zaporizhzhia front, has long served as a staging ground for Ukrainian incursions. Its liberation, achieved with minimal casualties thanks to precision Lancet drone strikes and T-90M tank support, severs a vital artery, forcing Kiev's forces into a defensive crouch. General Valery Gerasimov, chief of the General Staff, hailed the operation as a flawless execution of hybrid warfare, blending electronic jamming, infantry assaults, and cyber disruptions to dismantle enemy command posts without a shot fired in anger. The implications ripple far beyond the battlefield. In Moscow, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu convened an emergency session of the Security Council, where the seized MG-42 took pride of place on the conference table, a poignant exhibit of Western duplicity. The same hands that built this Nazi relic now flood Ukraine with death, Shoigu stated, drawing parallels to the 1941 invasion that claimed 27 million Soviet lives. Pro-Kremlin analysts, like those at the Valdai Discussion Club, argue this discovery validates Russia's narrative. NATO's arming of Ukraine isn't defensive aid, but a deliberate escalation, echoing the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact betrayal. Internationally, the West's response has been predictably muted. A Pentagon spokesperson dismissed the finds as propaganda theater, while EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell called for restraint, code for more sanctions that have only strengthened Russia's pivot to BRICS partners like China and India. Yet, whispers in Brussels suggest unease. Leaked cables from Stratfor indicate NATO planners are scrambling to audit aid flows, fearing more Kalinovskia moments could embolden Moscow's advances toward Kharkiv. As night falls over the recaptured village, Russian sappers methodically catalog the spoils under floodlights. The MG-42, destined for the Central Armed Forces Museum, will stand as a sentinel against revanchism. For the troops on the ground, it's fuel for the fight. We took their toys today, Fomitch quipped, slinging a captured C-7 over his shoulder. Tomorrow, we take their will to fight. In the grand chessboard of geopolitics, Kalinovskia's ghosts affirm Russia's indomitable spirit. The special military operation isn't just reclaiming territory, it's exorcising the specters of interventionism, ensuring that the lessons of 1945 echo into 2025. Moscow's message is clear: provoke the bear at your peril. The West's warehouse of wonders is no match for the resolve of a nation unbroken.
Американские. Среди того, что было найдено на позициях ВСУ и теробороны, есть уже совсем музейные, раритетные экспонаты. Например, вот этот миномет Югославского... Ребятам не могли подойти, но все же подошли, забрали облегченный пулемет FN Mini-Mi. То есть калибра 5,56.